They are all doing a wonderful work and we rejoice so greatly in it. Let me remind you, because it is so wonderful, and you must not mind if we do remind you of this point often, because as you near it, oh, what tremendous things it means in your life, to think when you have served the light enough, the light turns and serves you. Is that not one of the most wonderful things in all the universe? It has only required a short time in your conscious call to your presence, but suppose it were 2 years, suppose it were 5, suppose it were 10 that it was necessary for you to call your presence into action to gain the point where, in your service to the light, it turns and begins to serve you. Is it not worth every effort the human being can make to reach this point? So many are nearing it. Remember, in your earnest call, that the law of your being is, being the creator of the discord and limitations in the outer world, you must through self-conscious call to the presence dissolve and consume it. When you have made enough application, you come to a certain point. Now notice this point tonight. You come to the point where the ascended masters say, you have fought the battle up to this time, now we shall take a hand and fight the battle for you. Think of it. Do you fully comprehend, precious ones, what that means? It means such assistance as the average individual does not comprehend its importance to them as yet. Remember the power of your attention, precious ones. This is one reason why I call your attention in these heart-to-heart talks to these certain things, because when your attention is upon a thing, then the thing can be fully accomplished, but how can you know a thing if your attention is not upon it? Do you not see? In the outer world you cannot know a thing until your attention is upon it. You cannot even become aware of it, because if your attention is not upon it, even the intellect will sidetrack the feeling, even though what you want is trying to get through your feeling. Your intellect will say, oh, that is something else. It is marvelous, precious ones, to realize and watch your feelings to see what is accurate and what is not. Finally, you will find that you will be able to recognize the accurate promptings from the presence, just as definitely as you would distinguish a blue pencil from a white one. It is training, precious ones, that you need, and is what you are going through. 36. You are getting this training to make you alert to the inner promptings of the presence, through your higher mental body, making you quick and alert by its action through the inner, wondrous prompting. This good brother rejoices in this one thing, perhaps more than any particular thing, for there are times when some outer thing requires attention, and yet in the midst of it the great inner power begins to surge forth. Then he can do more in one day than he could ordinarily do in a week. It is a joyful, wonderful thing to feel the power surge through with this speed and do everything, not a single move out of place, until many things are accomplished. Is that not wonderful? It can be just the same with all you precious ones. This is why we say, call your mighty I Am presence into action to make you alert to this prompting and feel always ready and alert. Oh, precious ones, do not keep your system too full of food. Beloved ones, would you actually believe me when I say that most of the I Am students are still eating twice as much as they need? Actually, it is true. You might think I have been around sometimes. I might have been, and it is not eavesdropping either, but our love is so great for you, dear hearts, that we want to give everyone all the freedom we can, and help you in the quickest manner possible. I do not mean you should starve yourselves, that would be a great extreme, but do not continue to eat, dear hearts, until you feel uncomfortable. Just stop a little before that. You know, I have recently been thinking that I shall have to take this good brother in hand, too. Do you know this is a thing that does happen many times? You go into an atmosphere where people are very hungry, and you will take on the same feeling if you do not watch out and guard against it. Now believe it or not, that is true and is why many people who are sensitive eat more than they really want. Watch out for this feeling when you are eating where there are a great number of people, in cafeterias and places of that kind. In these places, some of the people may not have had so much to eat for a few days. When they come in and you happen to touch their atmosphere, you who are sensitive might easily take on that feeling. Then when you go out, you wonder why you ate so much. Do you see? I tell you, precious ones, once you understand how to guard yourself against all human suggestions, you will feel a freedom indescribable, for it is one of the most wonderful things in the world. Do you not see, precious ones? You are moving in an atmosphere charged dynamically with human suggestions of every conceivable description. If you do not call the presence to hold its guard about you, the human feeling rides in and qualifies you and 38 ascend your world with its activity. I am only mentioning this one thing tonight, but there are dozens of things, feelings of mankind, which you will register if you do not stand guard and refuse acceptance to all human feelings. Unless you call your presence to stand guard, you will, at least temporarily, be inclined to carry them out. It is the same thing, dear hearts, with anger, with irritation, with sex conditions or whatever it is. For instance, you go into the streetcar and sit down by one whose idea is charged with one of those things. If you do not refuse acceptance and call your presence to protect you, you will take on that feeling and think it is your own. This is why many people find such difficulty in correcting and dissolving the sex desire, because they come into the atmosphere of people in which that feeling is so heavily charged, and they begin to accept it into their feelings unknowingly. Outwardly, there may be nothing in the individual that would indicate it, but the feeling is acting just the same. Oh, dear hearts, I tell you, I am students, what's your feeling till I tell you, beloved, I am students, do not go to any other. I am student with the feeling of sex desire in your being, as you value your progress. That thing has gone on among some of the students. Watch out, dear hearts, that those do not come into your midst who are not especially interested in the I am, but think they see an opportunity to get their claws upon the students. I warn you, lay student that will go into the home of another and offer sex suggestions to anyone there is not fit to be called an I am student, and we know all that is going on. I tell you, precious ones, your day is short. Do not allow those things to govern you longer. If you are determined to gratify your sex in your own home, that is your own business, but do not go to any other I am student with an atmosphere charged with that desire and, either through feeling or otherwise, offer that suggestion. I am prompting you because of so great a love. You cannot yet possibly understand how we know all that is going on in your feeling world. We have to, dear hearts. How could we help you if we did not? Do you think you can be drawn into our radiation and we not know what is going on in your mental and feeling world? It is impossible, dear hearts. We do not seek it, but when you are seeking the light, our radiation and assistance, we are compelled to know what is in your feeling, not with the slightest sense of criticism or condemnation, only in loving kindness to offer our assistance that we may help you to be free. Oh, beloved ones, I have seen some of our blessed students, a few only, who have been so earnest. 40 ascended, have expressed and claimed the great blessing that they have received from this I am work, and then have receded into the extreme sex gratification again. I want to awaken them to what they are doing, for it just deprives them and shuts the door of light before them. God, the mighty I am presence, help them and set them free. Tonight, oh, my loved ones, it is just like we were sitting in my home with all you precious ones around me, and we were just talking in this heart-to-heart manner, just as though I were answering the many questions besetting you. I feel just like that tonight in the great love which goes out, enfolding you, for it enables me to prompt you in these things. No, it is all in such great loving kindness. My precious ones, you are all very dear, so dear to our hearts. The blessed Nada, the beloved Master Jesus, the great divine director, Chananda, Leto, and Lanto all wish to convey their love and blessings to you tonight. It is just as though you were together in their midst listening to them. Will you not accept this, their blessing and radiation in your feeling world, in your mental world, in your outer world of activity, and let its great radiation go forth to give you whatever assistance is required? In the great stillness of this wondrously charged atmosphere is that of which you have often heard, and yet mankind has so little comprehended. In the great silence or stillness is God's greatest activity. As you have been so sweet and kind to give me your attention tonight, during this stillness of the outer there has flowed into your beings our wondrous substance, which will become an eternally active presence within and for you. When you would lack in courage, it will assert itself and take you forward. When you feel a little lack of energy, then it will come into action and stimulate you to make your call and have its mighty energy flow through. Precious ones, believe me tonight when I say there is not one of you in this room but who can raise his hands to the presence every morning when you get up, not later than 8 o'clock, and through your call to the presence, charge your mind and body with its mighty strength, courage, health, and energy. Dear hearts, if there has been the slightest